Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Education Minds, your one stop shop for all things education. I'm Corey, as you already know, and today I'm going to share with you all something that is very important to me, my personal educational philosophy. I want everyone here to pretend they're back in grade 7 again. Think about entering your first class, ready to start your high school journey. Maybe you're scared, maybe you're excited. You enter your first class to meet Mr. B. However, he's not what you expect. He's dismissive, doesn't care about your personal experiences, values, or knowledge. It's like he doesn't see you for who you are. How would that make you feel? Probably not motivated or confident and not excited to attend Mr. B's class. Paulo Freire's book, Pedagogy of the Oppressed, explains how Mr. B's teaching techniques are oppressing the students in his class. When teachers fail to recognize values and difference, they actively reinforce social injustice. When Mr. B treats his students as docile beings, where their only goal is to just receive information, and Mr. B's only goal is to deposit such information, is what Freire refers to as the banking model. Freire critiques to the banking model as its only goal is to maintain power and structure, where students' value is gauged by good behavior and academic results. When we oppress our students to conform to the existing social order and injustices around us, how are we meant to entrust our next generation to be more equitable and create a better society? Well, the short answer is we can't. Not with traditional education, at least. Luckily, we don't live in the 19th century anymore, and the common attitude and philosophy around education has drastically changed. Take, for example, the Australian curriculum B9's mission statement, where their goal is to foster lifelong creative individuals who are active and informed members of the community. Paulo Freire and Nell Noddings help challenge us to reflect in a way where we can be better educators. In Freire's book, he proposes problem-posing education, where instead of education in the form where teachers are depositing information, teachers and students collaborate and learn together through conversation and shared research. Freire believes that students learn best through dialogue, questioning, and reflection. Alongside this, Nell Nodding's ethics of care, where students learn best when students feel seen, valued, and cared for. Nodding's fundamental belief is that teaching is not just intellectual, however, it is a moral and ethical responsibility for teachers to uphold respectful relationships with students. These beliefs shape my educational philosophy. In my classroom, instead of boring lectures, I'll have engaging, meaningful dialogue with my students. When I design my lessons, I design it in a way where students are learning through solving issues, questioning, and critical thinking. This approach is successful as it allows my students to actively engage, challenge assumptions, and learn together. At the same time, this approach allows me to uphold meaningful, caring relationships with all my students. Through this approach, I foster learners of freedom who engage in meaningful learning, where they challenge inequality and the social norms that limit them. When us as educators cultivate our students to feel empowered and cared for, education becomes transformative, where the next generation is more equitable, respectful, and socially aware. At this moment, let's pause. I want to reflect here as a future educator, not just a student trying to get a HD on their assignment. I know when I enter the classroom as a teacher in the future, all my decisions matter, from my interactions with students to how I create challenging learning. The Australian professional standards for teaching don't just remind us that teaching is never neutral, however, it emphasizes the importance of student diversity and the creation of supportive learning environments. Take, for example, 1.3 and 4.1. I know I can always refer to the APSD to reflect and realize if I'm empowering my students or oppressing the students. The Code of Ethics ground me to realize that teaching is an ethical duty to demonstrate integrity, dignity, responsibility, respect, justice, and care. At the end of the day, teaching is never about a control. It's about responsibility. Responsibility to recognize oppression, responsibility to challenge deficient thinking, responsibility to create learning spaces where collaboration is supported, where dignity is valued, and my students are protected. This is where my philosophy is deeply linked to me as an educator, because every decision I make reinforces inequalities or works to transform them. At the end of this presentation, I've been left with one lingering question. A question I hope everyone watching this will always ask themselves. Am I teaching in a way where students will fit into the world as it is, or to imagine, question, and help transform the world to be a better place?